Hey YouTube fans, it's me, the Storyman, and welcome back to my latest video. Today I'm reading a new story which I made from Chat GPT, The Last Alchemist. So remember folks, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and please leave your comment down in the comment section below. As always, I will put live commentary on my stories. Let's begin. When Elliot Hart discovered the Philosopher's Stone, his first reaction was disappointment. Fair point though, we always thought of what is the Philosopher's Stone. It was made during the medieval times. We don't know what it does. It says it could give anything. And this story said it all. For 20 years he had searched forgotten monasteries, translated crumbling manuscripts, and followed clues hidden in paintings, poems, and coded letters. I can imagine though what it looks like. It's a stone, but we don't know what kind it does. We don't know how we're supposed to make it. It's strange. He had imagined the stone as a jewel the size of a fist, glowing with divine light. You know, I can imagine things. We have to make the Philosopher's Stone, we have to find it, we have to create it from other things, people, what else? Minerals, chemicals, liquids, anything we can find, and biomatter. Instead, it looked like an ordinary pebble. It sat in his palm, dull and gray and unimpressive, deep beneath an abandoned fortress in the mountains. Yet when he touched a rusted iron nail to its surface, the nail became pure gold. Huh. I always seen people in medieval times try to create that thing. A lot of mavericks. We could call the alchemists trying to do that. The legends were true. Elliot stared at the transformed metal for a long time. He was flabbergasted. He just saw, oh my god, it's the real thing. I have found it. Every king in history would have started a war for this object. Every merchant would have traded nations to possess it. Every desperate person would have wished for it. And now it belonged to him. I can imagine. He found it. Now, what's he going to do with it? For the first month, Elliot told no one. He returned home and conducted experiments in secret. A spoon became gold. A horseshoe became gold. A brick became gold. Huh. It could just make gold. I wonder what else it could do. It said it can heal the sick, cure diseases, create anything out of nothing, any element he could think of. But he just used it to make gold. The stone worked every time. Soon he possessed enough wealth to buy entire estates. Yet something strange happened. The richer became, the less exciting gold seemed. Yeah, the more rich you have, the more money seems not as valuable as it was if you have so much of it. Gold had its value because it was rare, but to Elliot, gold had become as common as dirt. Fair point though, if there's so much of that element, it becomes worthless. If it's only valuable if it's only rare and so fewly seen. Now it's everywhere, it seems pretty common now, pretty worthless. The treasure he had spent his life seeking had made treasure meaningless. If you have unlimited wealth, anything else has become meaningless. Fair point though. It made treasure worthless. Then he turned to the stone's second power. Ah, I knew this thing had another power. I knew the Philosopher's Stone doesn't just make things into gold. According to ancient texts, the Philosopher's Stone could produce the elixir of life. Ooh, elixir of life. Elliot spent months preparing the formula. One winter evening, he finally drank it. Nothing happened. At least not immediately. The next day, he felt stronger. The next year, he looked exactly the same. And after 10 years, he had not aged a day. His friends grew gray, his neighbors retired, children became adults. Elliot remained 37. That's when he understood the true cost of immortality. Time no longer carried him forward with everyone else. It carried everyone else away. To quote from a show I watch, immortality has a price. You'll outlive all your family and friends. You'll see loved ones come and go. That's the price of it. You'll be alone. And another thing I read from a comic, life is short, but at least it's not forever. It can get boring if you live for thousands of years. Decades passed, then centuries. Empires rose and collapsed. Language changed, borders shifted. Elliot wandered from country to country, inventing new identities whenever questions became inconvenient. I can imagine though living the same pace over and over again. You have to keep making your identity. He changed his name to Elliot to Elias, Elias to Elmer, Elias to John, John to Johann to Michael. Oh, that's so hard to make so many names. I can imagine how painful that is. He watched humanity reach the skies. He watched machines learn to think. He watched diseases disappear and new ones emerge. Through it all, the stone remained hidden inside a small wooden box. Waiting. Silent. Patient. I can imagine holding that thing and what's he going to do with it now? Is this it? Let's continue. One evening, nearly 400 years after discovering it, Elliot sat on a cliff overlooking the ocean. For the first time in centuries, he felt tired. Not physically, of course. It made him eternally healthy. Spiritually, he had accumulated more knowledge than entire libraries. He had enough wealth to purchase cities. He could live forever. Yet, he found himself envying ordinary people. They loved urgently because time was limited. They forgave because tomorrow was uncertain. They dreamed because life was short. Every precious thing in human existence owed its value to the fact that it had ended. Elliot has escaped death. In doing so, he had escaped meaning. If he's eternal, anything you do is meaningless. He'll just be there. He'll just still be there. His wealth will still be there. He has knowledge. He'll just read it out, and he'll just still be there. Everyone he'll love, he'll be alone. He'll still be here, alone. Ooh. I read a comic book of a woman who did that, and it did not end well for her. It did not. I can imagine the pain and misery living 1,000 years. I can imagine this is how Immortal from Invincible felt. Living hundreds of years, so tired, loving so much and losing so much. It must have overwhelmed him. He did so much. The next morning, he made a decision. He traveled to a remote volcanic island. There, beneath the sky, streaked red with dawn, he removed the Philosopher's Stone from its box. The object looked exactly as it centuries before. An ordinary gray pebble. He laughed. Can you imagine, is this really the Philosopher's Stone? Just this tiny rock? I did it, and this is all I get. I feel like I got scammed. Yet, people fight for what it can do. I can't deny its value, but I can imagine what it cost. Kings had sought this thing. Alchemists had died for it. Entire legends had been built around it. Oh, you won't believe how many legends about the Philosopher's Stone we made about this thing. It's in cartoons, anime, books, movies. Oh, so many big based on this thing. So much. People still buy for this thing. And now the fate of the stone rested in the hands of a man who understood it better than anyone else. He said to the stone, "Thank you," he said softly. Then he threw it into the volcano. The stone vanished into fire. A faint flash glimmered down below, deep below. Then nothing. It just vanished. No fanfare, no spectacular fireworks show. Just poof, gone. Just like an ordinary rock. It just melted away. Nothing special. We don't know what the Philosopher's Stone really is. We don't know what it could do. I can imagine that's how it will go. But we never know. No one ever made it. No one's ever found it. No one's ever tried to know what it is. I guess we'll never know. I can imagine this is how Elliot, when he saw it. Just an ordinary rock. For the first time in 400 years, Elliot began to age. Slowly, naturally. Like everyone else, he returned to the world and lived quietly. He taught children. He planted trees. Planted trees whose shade he might never sit beneath. He wrote books without signing his name, and each morning felt more valuable than a century had before, because now it could be lost. It can only be valuable because you can lose it. If it's always there, it's kind of worthless now. Kind of worthless as dirt. When Elliot finally died at the age of 437, no one knew who he truly was. He died a quiet life. He died anonymity. Despite discovering the greatest thing, he died unmourned and then eventually forgotten. And this describes it perfectly. No monuments were built, no statues were raised, no treasures marked his grave, but among his belongings was a single note. Just one tiny note beside his body. It contained one sentence. Just one. Nothing special. Just this. And I'll read it. The greatest miracle was never turning iron to gold, It was learning that some things are worth more because they cannot last. And that's the story. That's a good lesson. If everything is always infinite, it loses meaning because it's not valuable anymore. If it's always there within your reach, it kind of loses all value. It's worthless. That's why I can imagine Elliot. He lived hundreds of years, and he got everything he needed, but now it's worthless because it's just, he already has it. Now it's just worthless to him. He had lost his ability to advance, to dream, to move forward with all his friends, and he's alone. But now it could be lost, he can still have it. You can imagine how painful it is for him to work so hard for the Philosopher's Stone, only to throw it away is all his hard work. But then again, he understood now what it meant. Now he had everything he needed. He died, though, just a small life. Despite discovering the greatest thing in the world, he just died a regular man. No fanfare, no grand parades, no mass mourning, just a normal, average-to-the-mill funeral. Nothing more. Nothing else. And that's the story, and I'll end it right here. So thank you for watching my video. This is the story man, signing out. Remember, the story was made by Chat GPT, but the voice acting, narration, dramatic flair, storytelling, and ad-libbing were done by a real human being, which I call myself the story man. This person right here, the story man. A real human being, not made by AI. A real, life, living, breathing man. So remember folks, like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and please leave your comments down in the comment section below. Remember, hit that like button to like this video. Comment down in the comment section below on what kind of story you want to make. Subscribe to the down there, ring to the bell, subscribe to me, and then get any videos from me. Comment down in the comment section below on what kind of story you want me to make, and I will make it with ChatGPT, and I'll give it as much life as possible as a human can. If you do all that, this thumb will greet the end with a thumbs up. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. And this thumb will reach the end with a thumbs up. Remember, and I'll say it again. The story was made by ChatGPT, but the voice acting, storytelling, dramatic flair, ad-libbing, narration were done by a real live human being. Flesh and blood. This man. I call myself the story man. Thank you and goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Bye-bye.